Hey y'all, I'm crossing off 1,000 adventures on a bucket list, and one of those adventures was to read 100 new books, and that's just what I am trying to do. So this was book number 6. This is What Happy Looks Like by Jennifer E. Smith. And our tale is about 2 star-crossed lovers. Yes, they are teenagers, and they are 17 years old, and the back says, if fate sent you an email, would you answer? Now, as an adult, I had somebody tell me that they'd probably just put that email in spam, but you decide. So, our 2 characters, Ellie O'Neill and Graham Larkin. What happens is, Graham, again, they're both 17, Graham, cross country, is looking for somebody to take care of his pig, or the person that's supposed to be taking care of his pet pig. His email accidentally gets sent to the wrong email address, thus connecting him with Ellie, who lives in a small town, Henley, Maine. They form a bond through this mistaken email, and they end up talking for months on end. Well, fast forward, and Graham is showing up in Henley. He hasn't let Ellie know he's coming. He hasn't let her know that he's there. He just kind of shows up. But it's not just any show up, because we find out that Graham Larkin is a Hollywood movie star, a teen heartthrob, a Backstreet Boy wannabe, and his whole story is basically just tale and woe of, my life was great, then I became famous. My life was private, then I became famous. My life was this, and then I became famous. Is basically the undertone of his entire story. But I digress. Going back, he decides he's going to surprise Ellie at her job because he knows there's only one candy shop in town, and that is where she says she works. So he shows up, but unfortunately, the girl behind the counter wearing a shirt that with the name tag that says Ellie is not Ellie. What had happened was there was a mistake and an accident with a blender or something, and stuff got everywhere. So Ellie, at the end of her shift, gave her shirt to her friend Quinn that was working there, and Graham accidentally asks out Quinn, and then they have a really awkward date. Like, it is really awkward, and they quickly uncover that she is not who he was looking for. And then he has to show up at Ellie's house, which turns into this whole tumultuous bit of feelings, and Ellie's mom is like really put off by this, having the spotlight happen, and having Ellie involved in it, and she thinks that this is just kind of like a teen fling, you know. I mean, of course. But Ellie's determined to convince her that, alas, no, it is not. There's real feelings here. Whole bunch of drama happens. But then we find out that Ellie, the reason why Ellie's mom is not okay with this relationship is because Ellie's mom had an affair with a senator in Washington, and that was how Ellie came to be. And the papers and paparazzi and everybody had gotten a hold of the story and a hold of the information and leaked all this stuff, and they were saying things which made Ellie and her mom have to leave Washington. And that's how they ended up in Henley. So no, they don't want to be in the spotlight. They don't want to have anything linked back to them. No extra stories. It's a whole mess. Ellie's never met her dad because of this. Like, I guess he was around when she was little, but mom moved and said, don't try and find us. So that's what's happening there. And Ellie ends up breaking up with Graham because she doesn't want to be in the spotlight. This lasts for a total of 3 weeks. Teenagers. And they get back together. Then Ellie decides she's going to run off and find her dad because he's coming to Maine, and Graham's going to steal a boat to help her get there. But not until after the paparazzi does catch them together, gets some photos, and Graham ends up punching one of them in the face. So, fast forwarding, they try and meet Ellie's dad, and he, of course, does not recognize her. She's gutted, she's broken, and they come back. To me, this is about the ending of the book, and the end of the book was truthfully the best part. Not because it was the end, but because of what it brought. I wish that there had been this kind of feeling throughout the whole book. But this is where Ellie and her mom finally have the talk that they needed to have. We find out that because Graham punched a reporter in the face, the story about Ellie and her dad was quite overshadowed. Even though it was exposed, it was very overshadowed by this teen boy finally like punching paparazzi in the face. So they're okay. Her mom was just more so worried about her because she was gone all day. And they watch the fireworks together, and there's warm feelings and everything's good. Graham, who also had an estranged relationship with his parents since becoming famous, again, one of his doom and glooms, he comes to the fireworks talking on the phone with his parents, who said, I just wanted to call you so that we could watch the fireworks together. I know we can't be there, but we wanted to watch with you. And that was really their first bit of reaching out, and he was able to find out that his publicist and manager and everybody else working together was able to kind of get the story downplayed and start hushing everything up about him punching the reporter anyways. So he has a good ending. He's getting in touch with his family again, which puts him in touch with his roots and who he is, and starts making plans and different things and feeling comfortable with life again, essentially. Graham and Ellie decide that they're going to finish seeing each other throughout the summer, and they spend the next few days together just spending all the time in the world. Graham throws out some money so that she can go and attend this poetry class that she didn't have the money for, and it was actually a huge problem through the whole book. And then they say things to each other like, well, what now? And they don't answer the question. I don't know about you, but I have a hard time with that whole make your own interpretation of the book. Anyway, they leave you at that, as basically they're going to figure out what they're going to do, but they aren't going to tell you about it. But it is kind of assumed that they are going to stay together and try and make long distance work. And that's essentially the book. So if you want to know exact thoughts and opinions of what I thought about it, jump over to the next video. And we'll see you soon, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Visit 1000adventures.ca.